Okay, so here I am finished with the connecting of all of the crazy patches. And if you'll notice, if you've been watching my videos in the past, you'll know I was working on the floor. So I'm finally up on a table, which is nice. And I have made the decision to press my seams open for this project. Honestly, because I felt like it would make it easier to hand quilt. And so what I did was, as I sewed the rows together, I would open the seams on the rows. And now that everything is together, I'm opening up the seams where I connected the rows to each other. I'm just using my small iron and the clapper. And this is just me taking my time with this. And I do think that this is worth the effort to just take your time, open these seams up slowly. I'm not really sure what the recommended heat setting is. I suspect it depends on the kind of fabric you're using. And so I just kind of went with a medium level of heat. And then when I'm done opening up the seams with the little iron here, I just place my clapper on the seam, and then I just work my way down the line. I want to point out, you'll see a little bit of residue there on that little brown patch. So this particular shape is what I would use my Elmer's glue for. And I had a couple of patches that just, the paper did not want to let go of the fabric. I don't know if I used too much glue, but just keep that in mind. I haven't had that issue with the sew-line glue when I was doing my English paper piecing, but I did notice that I was having that issue with the Elmer's glue. If anybody has any suggestions, or if you love or hate using Elmer's glue versus something else, if you would be willing to leave that in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. I have not had a chance to go down the rabbit hole of which glue is better, Elmer's versus whatever else. So I do use Sew-Line for English paper piecing. For the crazy patchwork quilt that I'm working on now, I decided to use Elmer's glue because each patchwork block only had one piece that needed to be glued. And I felt like using the Sew-Line was just a waste of product compared to the cost and the amount of Elmer's that you got with I used the glue stick. So I made a decision to go with that instead. And I'm taking time too, as I'm opening up my seams, to just kind of be very picky about, and in particular about looking at what I could have done better with in terms of lining up the blocks. I'm now going to baste this quilt top to my batting and the bottom piece here. I'm going to pin this. I do have spray adhesive, but I'm still a little nervous about using that. I had walking pneumonia for quite some time this winter, and I'm just trying to avoid aggravating my lungs too much with anything. And so I just opted to continue to pin base. And these have little curves in them, so it's pretty nice. I started to pin along the edge of this project. And then I got to thinking, if you want to start your quilting in the center, I just wonder if it makes a difference if you start pinning towards the center also. And so I actually stopped pinning on the edge and moved to the center of this project. And then I worked my way out to the edge. So I didn't show taking these out and starting over, but it was just food for thought, because you can just keep straightening out and checking your lines and checking for any kind of bulging that might be occurring. Also, if you were not aware, I wasn't aware of this. Apparently batting has a side, like a right side and a wrong side, like a top and a bottom. Show your dimples, not your pimples.